Netflix, Amazon, all you other guys, take notes. This is how it's done. Welcome to Box of Chocolates, where you never know what you're gonna get. Today you're getting my opinion on The Gorge, the newest film on Apple TV+. Everything about the film itself had me excited. The plot sounded cool, it's directed by Scott Derrickson, I like most of his movies, it has Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy. The only thing that was holding me back is the fact that it is going straight to streaming, and that's not always a great thing. Sure, some places like Netflix will occasionally have a gem, but the ratio of good to bad, not so hot. But Apple is a little bit classier, so I was still ready to give this movie a chance and hope that I would enjoy it, and this is the kind of shit that you should be putting out, streamers. I mean, I would have loved to seen it in a theater and own it on Blu-ray, that would have been preferable. But you need to invest in some quality filmmakers making some good stuff. So let's begin with the positives for The Gorge. You have a gigantic gorge, a tower on either side. One side has Miles Teller, the other side has Anya Taylor-Joy. They're snipers, and they are tasked with keeping whatever mysterious things are in this gorge down in there, not letting them escape. They're not supposed to communicate with each other, but of course they end up doing that, and a romance forms between the two of them while they're dealing with this strange supernatural threat. I think Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy are both really good here. Sigourney Weaver's also in the movie, but it's a very small role. There's not really much of anything to her character at all, but that's fine because the main two are our focus for almost the entire runtime, and they're both great. They're very different from each other. Anya Taylor-Joy is much more openly flirtatious and fun, and even though she's a sniper who has killed many people, doesn't really seem to bother her all that much. She's kind of lonely because of it. She only really has her father at the beginning of the film, but she seems alright. Miles Teller is the one who's much more haunted by all of the things that he has seen and done in his life. He has nightmares. He's a lot more quiet. He seemed to be doing kind of a deeper, more gravelly voice than what is typical for him, and I think that really worked for the character. You could really tell from his performance very early on that this is a character who is kind of tired, who really has only ever had this, has had shooting people in his life, and it has taken its toll on him. And so they're very different from each other. So when they start bonding, it's actually kind of nice chemistry that they have. Even though they only begin by writing notes to each other, they just write on paper and they see with binoculars across the gorge what the other one is saying. Even though they're just doing that, they kind of immediately have a cute chemistry to them. And when they start talking more seriously, they're bonding over the fact that they've killed a lot of people. And it's like, oh, well, that's unconventional. I don't know how great that is. And yet, it works. Like, I see why this romance is forming. Like, they have really good chemistry. And it's a really good blend of genres. This is a sci-fi, horror, and/or thriller action romance. There's a lot going on here, and it balances it all really well. Like, it's all baked into the plot naturally. When you have this premise of these two being alone to guard this mysterious threat, of course they're gonna talk, and of course that's probably gonna develop into something further. It feels like a natural consequence of this plot. It doesn't feel like, what is this romance doing shoehorned into my horror? No, it all balances very nicely. That can be really difficult to pull off. A movie last year that I can reference is The Fall Guy. I had fun with that movie. I enjoyed it for the most part, but that was trying to do like romance, comedy, mystery, action, and it felt like it needed to cut one of those. It was trying to do a little too much. This balances a lot really well, and it made me unsure of where the story was going in terms of the tone. Like, the story itself isn't all that special once it actually begins unfolding, but just in terms of what genre we're going to explore. Like, I start off intrigued as to what's in the gorge, then I'm really invested in the romance, and I want to see them talk and spend time together, and then we're getting a bunch of shootouts and mines exploding and action, and then we're getting these creatures and this horror, and there's all these different layers to it, and that kept it kind of fresh as it sort of changed genres very fluidly as it went along. And there could easily have been a version of this movie that keeps it kind of small scale and quiet and mysterious, and you don't find out what's in the gorge or if there's even anything really down there, and you don't see what it looks like. This is not that version of the movie, Something like that could have worked too, but this is going for all-out genre thrills. You see what's down there, the designs are really cool, the effects are mostly very good. You get a full explanation as to what's going on, and so I kind of like that it fully leaned into this insanity as the movie went along and evolved from where it started. It's not really going for scary, it's more so action, and you have a few little jump scares. You've got like the creature designs, which you might find a little bit off-putting, but it's mainly going for the thrills, and I was really invested in these characters, and so once they got put into more perilous situations as the movie went on, it was exciting. I do have some elements that I'm mixed about. I mostly enjoyed the effects, but there were a few small moments where things looked a little bit too fake. Just a few. And even though I really like how the movie balances genres and how it kind of changes as it goes along, overall, I was kind of more invested in the first half. I still enjoyed the second half, but I really just liked seeing these characters be alone, bonding with each other. I thought that was really well done, and I could have used more time with that. I didn't need more time to get invested, because I was invested in their romance, but I would have liked more of that quiet time. Especially with Miles Teller's character, because he's the one who's more haunted by his past, so I actually would have liked to have seen maybe more quiet, emotional scenes between them where they can really go deep into conversation and talk about their lives and help each other heal their wounds. And the way it plays out is more that they're able to heal just by being together and overcoming this threat together. But I would have kind of liked to see more of that character development happen in like emotional bonding scenes where we really explore them intricately more than we did. It still works, and I was enjoying all of the shooting and the running and the creatures and everything, but I would kind of preferred the intrigue and the character setup, especially because where the story actually goes, like, it's fine, it makes sense, but it's not some huge shocker. It's like, oh, that's what it is? Okay. Yeah, that was definitely one of the major options for what it could have been. Totally fine, but it's not like a big surprise. I also found the ending a bit anticlimactic. I thought the situation would be more difficult to handle than it ended up being. So there were certain elements of this movie that made me feel a little bit less invested as it went along, but it still turned out really good. It was a unique blend of genres with good performances, a good, strange Valentine's Day movie with this romance, and then a whole bunch of other shit that unfolds from there. I'd be curious to see the alternate universe version of this film that kind of remains the quiet, character-focused one, but I also like what we got here. It's cool. We're getting another Scott Derrickson film later this year with The Black Phone too, so I'm always excited to see more of what he does, and it was cool to see something else original from him. He did a very good job, solid direction, solid camera work, and I did enjoy it quite a bit, so it's going to be a 4 for me. I liked it. It was held back a little bit by just not being quite as invested in where it went versus where it started, but was still mostly good all the way through, and I do recommend it if you have Apple TV Plus or if you want to sign up for a free trial. That's what I did. But that's all I have to say about that. Leave your thoughts on The Gorge down in the comments below. Agree, disagree? Did you like where it went? Did you want it to stay more quiet and character focused? Anything you want to talk about, let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Got other movies coming out this week like Captain America and Paddington. I've already reviewed those. The Monkey is next week. I already reviewed that too because I saw it in an early screening. So check those videos out. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.